What's going on, you guys? My name's Tyknots, and welcome to Top 5 Unknowns, 5 mysteries that were finally solved. Number 5. In July of 2012, scientists finally cracked what many believed to have been one of the greatest anomalies in outer space's written history. They were finally able to determine what caused NASA's Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11 spacecrafts to mysteriously and rapidly slow down as they sped away from our sun. Over the years, the incident widely became referred to as the Pioneer Anomaly, and as it would turn out, this strange behavior was actually caused by heat that was being generated from the spacecraft's integrated technology, which caused a noticeable loss in speed. One researcher referred to the incident as similar to your car's headlights. When your headlights are turned off, your car moves along the road just fine. But when the headlights are turned on, the light generated from the headlight beams causes your car to move just ever so slightly slower due to the protons pushing back against the car on a microscopic level. The Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11 launched back in 1972 and 1973, were the first spacecraft to ever make it through one of outer space's main asteroid belts, as well as the first to study Jupiter up close. After their encounter with Jupiter, the crafts continued their voyage onward, eventually heading towards Saturn. Scientists say that the crafts will eventually hover outside of our solar system entirely, though they're unable to estimate exactly when this day will come. Though during one of the Pioneer's early missions back in the 1980s, that's when experts began to notice that the craft's speeds were steadily declining. They believed this to have been a one-time fluke occurrence, though when the crafts were re-examined in 1998, they noticed that their speeds were still decreasing, often at a rate of about 300 inches per day. For nearly 3 decades, this phenomenon remained entirely unsolved, and nearly shook our entire understanding of outer space to its core, leading some scientists to speculate that an outside force was somehow pressing back on the spacecraft, causing this strange behavior. Though, as mentioned, this was shockingly and thankfully just the result of a minor human error, and the craft is still hovering around our solar system to this day. Number 4. Mary Bateman was an English criminal as well as an alleged witch who was born in North Yorkshire in 1978 and subsequently hanged in 1809 after an extremely strange series of events. Little is known about Mary's early life other than the fact that she became a well-known criminal and thief as early as the 1780s. Later on in life, she's known to have become a fortune teller who would prescribe potions which she claimed would ward off evil spirits and demons. Though this is nothing compared to Mary's main claim to fame. In 1806, Mary caused quite a stir in her local town after one of her pet hens began laying eggs that had end times references etched onto them. The most popular phrase reading "Christ is coming." For a shockingly long time, local residents believed that Mary had somehow obtained some sort of magical holy hen. Though, as it would turn out, Mary had been taking her hen's eggs, writing phrases on them with acid, then reinserting them into the hen, where they would be publicly birthed at a later date. Number 3. In early 2012, a large statue of Jesus, which was hung in a Catholic church located in India, began to mysteriously ooze water, with many claiming it to be some sort of miracle. People from all around the local area flocked to the church to actually drink from the water, hoping it would cure their illnesses. Though a short while later, the water was determined to have actually been originating from a leaky pipe located just behind the statue. Though the story doesn't end there. After a man discovered the leaky pipe and informed the public, locals were absolutely enraged, with the man eventually being arrested and accused of blasphemy, as well as other charges that could carry up to a 3-year prison sentence. The man ultimately had to flee to Finland, where he's believed to have remained to this day. Even worse is that after an official investigation was conducted, it was determined that this was not just any leaky water pipe, but actually a sewage pipe. From this point on, the statue was determined to have been a public health risk, with the charges against the original whistleblower soon being dropped, and a public apology being issued from a few of the locals. After this, numerous laws regarding blasphemy charges were called into question, though it doesn't appear as though any immediate changes were enacted after this event. Number 2. Sailing stones, also commonly referred to as sliding rocks, walking rocks, or rolling stones, are a largely ill-understood phenomenon in which rocks are known to slide across either icy or desert terrain without any sort of wind, human, or animal interaction. These rocks are most commonly found in places like Nevada, California, and even Antarctica. While little is known about these rocks, it appears as though the phenomenon mostly takes place with rocks that are extremely rough or extremely smooth. There isn't really an in-between. Additionally, scientists have determined that the conditions necessary for rock movement are extremely specific, with the area needing to be previously flooded, have a thin layer of clay-like dirt, icy terrain, and very gradually warming temperatures that result in ice breakup. The rocks were originally discovered back in 1915 by a researcher named Joseph Krug. From here, the subject remained relatively dormant until the mid-1970s, when a group of researchers did a heavy investigation into the movement of the rocks, tracking weather patterns, movement distance, and countless other variables. Though it wasn't until 2013 that many researchers claimed that the mystery was finally solved, when rocks were tracked with GPS, then organized into a time-lapse style video recording. It was then determined that most of these rocks begin to move when large chunks of ice begin to break up on sunny days, resulting in microscopic movement of the icy sheets, causing the rocks to ever so slightly glide across the surface of the ground. While this hypothesis certainly would explain the rocks that are in icy regions, it still doesn't explain what exactly is going on with the rocks that are located in extremely dry, desert-like conditions. In late 2017, researchers from Tibet were abuzz, believing that they found a femur bone that belonged to a Yeti that had likely roamed the Earth during the Ice Ages. These abominable snowmen were first mentioned in Himalayan folklore, with many supposed first-hand accounts coming to surface in the 19th century. Over the years, many researchers have claimed to have found bones that belonged to Yetis, though none of these really panned out as expected. Well, once again, researchers found a series of bones that they believed to have belonged to one of these creatures. The specimens were collected, then sent off for analysis. In addition to this, it appears as though a handful of other specimens from older excavations were sent off as well, though the results are less than exciting. As it would turn out, many of the bones that were collected were actually from bears. This led many theorists and experts to believe that what many claimed to have been abominable snowmen or Yetis were likely just snow-covered bears that were witnessed walking on their hind legs. Though some researchers remain unconvinced and are still insistent that Yetis did in fact used to exist. Research is still ongoing and many experts are quite hopeful for the future, holding out for some sort of evidence that could prove Yeti life once and for all. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to click that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep updated with our videos.